I have thought all my life that my father just abandoned us. What I learned about my father turned my whole past upside down. And now I'm not sure who the traitor is in this story. My name is Alex, and if someone had told me a couple of years ago that family isn't always about blood, I probably wouldn't have believed it. Everything always seemed simple for us. Mom, me, and silence. My father left when I was 3, and no one really discussed why. I just grew up with it, without asking questions. My mother worked 2 jobs, pulled us along as best she could, and I tried not to interfere. We weren't close, but there was always a sense of duty between us, a habit, something heavy, but strong. When I turned 27, my mother became seriously ill. It was cancer, and everything was developing too quickly. In 3 months, I managed to learn more about medicine than in my entire life. And, to be honest, for the first time I felt how vulnerable she was. She didn't cry, didn't complain. She just asked me not to spend everything on her, and of course I did. Money, nerves, myself, because she was my mother. The only person I really knew. Almost at the same time, I received a strange letter, paper, no return address. Inside, a short note. You should know that the truth is not always where you think it is. Ask about your father. This is important. Simply put the letter aside. I thought it was either some kind of joke or from someone from the past who knew about my father. A week later, my mother was hospitalized, urgently. I was with her almost constantly, and at some point, in the middle of the night, she said quietly, "If something happens, do not look for him, please." And this broke me, because if a person asks for silence before his death, it means that there is something really difficult there. But I did not listen. A month after the funeral, I started digging. Old documents, boxes of photographs, even notebooks. I found his name, my father. I found an old address. I called dozens of numbers. And at some point, I heard a man's voice on the phone. "Who are you?" I didn't say that I was his son. I just asked if he knew a woman named Lena. He fell silent, then quietly exhaled. "You found me too late. We met in the park." He was not at all like I imagined. Tired, gray, almost detached. He looked at me and said, "You're the spitting image of her." We talked for 3 hours. I learned that he left for a reason, that there was cheating in their relationship. Not his, my mother's. That she wasn't sure who the father was and asked him to disappear. That he tried to come back, but she had already decided everything for him. He didn't blame her. He said that love sometimes manifests itself in leaving on time. I didn't know what to believe. I never heard my mother's version to the end, and now I never will. But I understood the main thing. Every story has at least 2 sides, and the truth is not always one. After 6 months, we started calling each other sometimes, not often, without sentimentality. Just like 2 people who are still trying to figure out if it is possible to restore at least something. And then I met a girl. We bumped into each other at an exhibition. Both of us stayed at the same painting a little longer than necessary. She asked me what I saw in this canvas, and I suddenly answered, "A complicated family." She smiled and said, "So you and I are the same." With her, everything went differently. Without pretense, without fear. For the first time, I wanted to talk about myself, about the past, about my mother, even about my father. She listened without interrupting, and I realized that sometimes love begins with just being heard. Now we live together. Sometimes I go to my father, sometimes he comes to us. We do not have the warmth of a father, no hugs goodbye, but there is respect. And some common experience of loss. That was enough. And if they ask me who I am, I'm still not entirely sure. But I know for sure, I no longer live in the shadow of other people's decisions. I choose who I let into my life, And that's my whole story.